Now clear of Bias's comments during an interview with Newsmax on August 1st.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter.
The final thing I want to say is this. I asked Joe Tacopina, what about Trump's comment?
People are freaking out because Diddy thought he could beat the system, but his chance to avoid prison is slipping fast since Trump said he is not giving him a pardon, and even when Diddy tried to put up $50 million for bail, that door slammed shut, and with sentencing only a month away, it is looking darker than ever for him, and now all eyes are on what move he makes next because one wrong step could seal his fate forever.
Now clear of Bias's comments during an interview with Newsmax on August 1st.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard,
So the buzz is that CNN revealed weeks ago Diddy's lawyers had been in quiet talks with the Trump administration about a pardon, and even though they kept denying it from the very beginning, the White House staff stepped in and confirmed it was true, which forced his lawyer to admit it. And now everyone is left wondering how deep this really goes and what other secrets might still come out.
You mean to tell me that you really have nothing to do with a possible pardon right now?
Nothing. I have nothing to do with a possible pardon.
What is Sean Combs saying about the possibility of a pardon?
I think he knows I'm not political. We've never discussed it other than I tell him what's in the news about it.
And what's his reaction? Does he laugh? Does he say, let's look into it? What does he say?
Go tell him that I need a pardon. Go tell him I deserve a pardon. That's what he said.
How are you preparing him?
So, I tell him what the guidelines are.
So here is the scoop. Trump actually admitted in an interview that he and Diddy used to be friends, and he even said he would look into giving him a pardon. And then in another recent interview, Trump went on saying that Diddy was kind of half innocent, like not totally guilty, but not totally clean either. And he talked about it almost like it was some sort of victory, but one that really was not much of a win at all.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well.
So for years, people close to Diddy have been hinting about him expecting a presidential pardon, and Suge Knight even claimed that Diddy was secretly an informant passing info to the feds, and that is why he always managed to stay out of serious trouble, because even though the cops knew what Puffy was into, he somehow kept walking free, and now everyone is questioning if that protection has finally run out.
The final thing I want to say is this. I asked Joe Tacopina, what about Trump's comment? What does it do to the jury? And he thought it was a nightmare for Diddy that Donald Trump said this. And the reason he thinks that is when the jury goes into deliberations, they could end up saying, well, look, even if we convict him, because we kind of think he's guilty, we're not sure he's guilty, But if we find him guilty, he's probably going to get pardoned because Trump kind of sent that message.
Right now, Diddy is stuck in a rough spot because Trump made it clear he can forgive, but he does not forget. And when Trump was running for president, Diddy went after him big time, even starting his own political party to throw shade. And now that history is catching up, people are saying this beef might be the real reason Trump will never let that pardon happen.
Sure. Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure, don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the President of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager or had him. So they don't care about that. It's all about, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what's the problem.
The wild part is that the person who probably made Trump switch up on Diddy is 50 Cent, because ever since the chatter about a pardon started, 50 has been dropping videos of Diddy trashing Trump back in the day and using them as a reminder, and now people are convinced that 50's trolling might have been the final nail in the coffin for Diddy's chances.
White men like Trump need to be banished. Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up.
President Trump even called him a good friend on a 2012 episode of his TV show The Apprentice. Problem is, some comments Diddy made about Trump in recent years as Diddy really entered the political realm. There was a video where he's speaking to radio host Charlemagne saying, if Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. In another video on Revolt, he says white men like Trump need to be banished. And by the way, you know who's not letting anyone forget this? Combs' rival 50 Cent. Took to social media recently, wrote, see, Trump don't like S like this, buddy, you run your mouth too much. And Donald doesn't take well to disrespect and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him. While working tirelessly to make America great again, there is no room for distraction. He would consider pardoning anyone who is being mistreated, not Puff Daddy. And let me tell you, the idea of Trump pardoning Diddy is not getting a ton of love out.
How does it go on for so long? When we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, he's not. The reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been telling them they bigger than the law because they part of the law, And as you know, all
these have got too serious of a point. And seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Mm-hmm. Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We're taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. Mm-hmm. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility.
Gandil saw this coming way before anyone else, and a year ago, he was already saying that Trump would never pardon Diddy because their friendship was basically done, and Trump was not going to risk his own image by protecting someone who had so much dirt attached to his name. And people close to Trump even shared that he felt deeply disrespected by the way Diddy dragged him in public. And once that happened, Trump made up his mind to never stick his neck out for him. And looking at it now, you can see how Diddy might have ruined his only lifeline by burning the one bridge that could have saved him.
How you feel about the people that feel like Trump, he might pardon Diddy? First of all, he got to be charged and be in prison to be pardoned. you got to realize that the feds could take this case for 2, 3, maybe 4 years, and Trump will be out of office. You don't know how long the feds is gonna go on with this. You understand what I'm saying? You hear people talking crazy talk. Well, they ain't got nothing because, man, I've seen the dude set behind bars for 2 years before he had his trial with the feds. And about time a pardon come in, another year will come by. So that's just a whole lot of propaganda. Puff wasn't even f***ing with Trump like that no more. He was going against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is petty as 50 Cent. Do you understand that?
The wild thing people forget is that even if Trump actually handed Diddy a pardon, it would not set him free the next day because he would still be stuck serving at least a year or maybe even longer behind bars. And the catch is he has not even been sentenced yet. And the rule is that a pardon only happens once he is already in prison. So the whole process could drag on. And that long wait is dangerous for him since his reputation on the streets has made him plenty of enemies. And everyone knows prison is the one place where all those grudges could finally come back around. And Diddy is very aware that being locked up might not just hurt his career, but could also put his life at serious risk.
You heard how Trump, he spoke on giving Puffy a pardon? You heard what he said about it?
He still would have, if he pardoned Diddy, far as I know, he would still have to go through the process. I don't think Trump is just going to send the marshals or the Department of Justice chief them over there to the fucking jail. Yo, get Diddy out. And when he had friends that went to jail, remember he had friends that went to jail who worked for him, who did some shit. What did he do? They went through the same process that every person go through and giving a pardon. And that might take a year. Things
have taken a darker turn for Diddy because now prosecutors are pushing hard for him to face a much longer prison sentence than anyone first thought, and people close to the case believe the judge might not even stick to the standard federal guidelines and could instead decide to hand down a sentence that goes way beyond what Diddy was expecting, since those guidelines do not actually limit how long someone can be locked up. It all comes down to what the judge believes is fair and fitting given the situation and with the kind of mess surrounding Diddy. Right now, there is a real chance the judge will choose to make an example out of him and give him more time than he ever imagined.
In early July, Combs was convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges, each carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years. He was found not guilty on the more serious racketeering charges.
Today is a great victory.
After the July verdict, prosecutors initially expected Combs would face a prison term of 4 to 5 years, according to CBS News. However, according to a written submission filed Thursday in a Manhattan federal court, as reported by the Associated Press, the expected sentence is now substantially higher. The submission also opposed Combs' request to be released on a $50 million bail ahead of his October 3rd sentencing. The filing also says Combs must remain in custody until sentencing unless he can prove exceptional circumstances, and according to prosecutors, he cannot. This comes after a previous bail request for $1 million was also denied following the verdict. A federal judge ruled there was no evidence to suggest Combs doesn't pose a danger to others or the community. With these latest developments, Combs will remain in jail until...
So this is wild because Diddy's legal team just went in for the 5th time trying to get him bail. And this round, they are offering a massive $50 million bond deal that has everything tied in from his Miami mansion to giving up his passport to strict travel limits, no phone, no internet, and even being locked down in his house with private security watching him 24/7. But everyone knows the reason behind this desperate move is that Diddy is truly scared of what might happen to him inside prison since his name on the streets has made him a target. And people believe that if the court ever gave him the green light to walk out on bail, he would not be sticking around because the first chance he got, he would probably run and disappear.
Diddy's legal problem. So Diddy's legal team has just filed a motion for bail. They're offering $50 million. They're, basically arguing that it's unfair that he's behind bars given the nature of his conviction. his attorneys are asking the judge to approve the $50 million bond package, and they want him to live on house arrest in his Miami mansion while he waits, for his convictions. Now, the judge, has ordered Diddy to remain in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center until October 3rd, when his sentencing is set.
In opposition to Diddy's bail request, and the prosecutors say they're actually looking for a more lengthy sentencing than what they originally thought. In this opposition, the prosecution is laying out the fact that the judge already denied Diddy's bail for being a violent person, and they hone in even more into Diddy's alleged violence against people. Prosecutors are saying that Diddy has actually been lying when he said that he didn't commit violence between his breakup with Cassie Ventura in 2018 up until 2024 with his incident with Jane.
The way this whole case is shaping up, it is looking darker and darker for Diddy, because Judge Aaron has already put his foot down, saying that Diddy is a flight risk. And with his long history of violent behavior, there is simply no way the court can ever trust him on the outside. No matter how much money he offers or what kind of bail deal his lawyers try to cook up. And this is not just about money or legal tricks, because the people around Cassie are making sure their voices are heard too. Her lawyer and her close friend Deontay Nash have gone straight to the court, filing strong requests to deny any chance of bail, since they truly believe that the very moment Diddy walks out, he will set his sights on the people who stood up against him. And that puts Cassie in the most serious danger of all, because she had the courage to testify and speak out against him. And now with talks of bail and even whispers about a pardon floating around. And the fear is that her safety, along with the safety of other witnesses, could be destroyed in an instant if he is released. And that is why the whole picture being painted right now is that letting him out would not just be a mistake, but a disaster that could bring chaos, revenge, and violence back into play.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail after the verdict in his trafficking case, and here's how he took the news. According to NBC News reporters in the courtroom, Combs appeared, quote, deflated as his hopes of going home were seemingly dashed as his lawyers attempted to convince Judge Aaron Subramanian to release their client ahead of his sentencing. In his ruling, Subramanian cited Combs' years-long pattern of violence as a reason for him to remain behind bars, adding that he continues to be a danger to others and unable to follow the law.
Diddy's legal team has now moved into full desperation mode, because instead of fighting the smaller battles like bail or even trying to negotiate a lighter sentence, they are swinging big and asking the court to erase the entire case completely. And the argument they are leaning on is honestly shocking. They are saying that Diddy never personally participated in the freak-offs and that he was only there standing off in the corner watching, which in their view means he should not be held guilty. But anyone who has been following this saga knows that this paints a very twisted picture, because Diddy was never just some innocent watcher on the sidelines. He was the one arranging everything from the beginning, making the calls, booking the locations, bringing the people in, setting the rules, and giving the directions for how it should all go down. So even if he did not physically step into the act, he was the mastermind who built the stage and made it all happen exactly the way he wanted. And if that kind of control and power does not make someone responsible, then what does? And the fact that his lawyers are trying to push this narrative shows just how desperate they are to keep him from facing the reality that is closing in fast on him. And it also raises bigger questions about how power and money twist the legal system, because if a man who orchestrates, plans, and benefits from everything that went down can try to hide behind the excuse of simply watching, then it sets a dangerous precedent for everyone else. And that is why so many people are furious at this move, because to them it feels less like a defense and more like an insult to the victims and to justice itself. And in the end, it shows that Diddy and his team will go to any extreme to avoid accountability, even when the truth is staring everyone right in the face. Things have taken an even darker turn, because yet another lawsuit has now been filed against Diddy. And this one is even messier, since his own son, Justin Combs, has been dragged into it as well, with both of them being accused of playing a role in a brutal assault. That reportedly happened back in 2017. The woman behind this lawsuit is finally speaking out, and her story is chilling. She says she was lured out to Los Angeles with the promise of a dream job, a life-changing opportunity that sounded too good to be true. But once she arrived, everything flipped into a nightmare because instead of interviews and work offers, she claims she was held captive for the entire weekend, cut off from the outside world, and forced to endure repeated assaults that left her broken and traumatized. And now, years later, she is taking them to court, refusing to stay silent anymore, which only piles more pressure on Diddy, who is already buried in legal chaos and now has to fight not just for himself, but also alongside his son, who is now tangled up in the scandal, with him making the entire situation more explosive and damaging than ever. Right now, it feels like Diddy's empire is crashing down faster than anyone could have imagined, because with Trump flat out refusing to give him a pardon and the court rejecting his massive $50 million bail package, he is left with no real escape plan. The man who once walked around like he was untouchable now looks like he has run out of money, power, and favors to protect himself. And for the first time, people are really starting to believe that this could be the end of his freedom. So what do you think? Does he deserve another chance to turn his life around, or is it finally time for him to spend the rest of his life behind bars where so many believe he belongs? And if you want to keep up with every twist and turn in this wild story, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because here you get the most real and raw content with no filter, only on No Filter Dude Official. And make sure to hit the bell icon so you never miss any new update.